Alright, and welcome back to a very delayed release of an episode of Barntv. I've been out of action for a couple of weeks with some events happening in the industry and some staffing shortages and public holidays and all that sort of thing. So back for this week though. Hopefully we will be back to a regular upload schedule. We have some interesting news this week. First piece of industry news is that the Meopta line of rifle scopes from, the Optica 5 and Optica 6 line of rifle scopes from Meopta are going to be completing their manufacturing in Europe, and Meopta is going to be switching all of their manufacturing to a Chinese facility. We don't see that as a necessarily bad thing. The Mio Sports that have been around for a long time, that are a really competitive product, a really good product, are really quite a fantastically priced and fantastically featured scope made in China. However, the Optica 5s and Optica 6s that are currently in the market will be the last of the European manufactured ones. So if you want to grab one of the last European manufactured Meoptas, get in quick. So thanks to Winchester for that update, and the remaining stocks will be all that is available coming into their new manufacturing facility in China. The other piece of industry news, much closer to home, is FarmFest is coming up. I'll probably be mentioning this in the next couple of videos, but FarmFest will be coming up pretty shortly. We are having a thermal night once again. We're hosting another thermal night. There'll be some great specials to be had at the thermal night. And on the subject of thermals, we are one of the biggest retailers of thermals in the country. We are constantly running demo thermals out the door at discounted prices that we've used in store as demos. Nothing wrong with them at all. We constantly have great specials on them. So if you see a thermal that you'd like and you're not entirely happy with the price, please make sure you give us a call at the shop. We might be able to do something for you. And yeah, FarmFest will be holding a thermal night, so look forward to that event. It's usually super informative. Brett at the shop has forgotten more about thermals than I know, but we all get out there and use them. A lot of the guys in the shop get out there and use them, so we've got a fair bit of knowledge. So look forward to thermal night at FarmFest, and ring us for great deals on thermals. This week's 3-minute review is on the new range of thermal or multi-spectrum scopes coming from DNT. I've done a review on these guys' little baby brother, the 225R, but this week I'll be putting some footage up, some stock footage, just up here or right over my face, of the new range of models coming. There's a 335R, which is a 384 thermal sensor unit, and like its little brother, it incorporates an IR camera for night vision, an infrared illuminator, and a laser rangefinder. And the 635R, which is the big boy, it has a 640 thermal sensor in it, same resolution in the IR, same infrared illuminator, and same laser range-finding unit, although it looks a little bit different, much the same capabilities as the 225R. However, these new units do incorporate and fix one of the big problems I had with the 225R, and that's a significantly larger battery. Their battery life is significantly better. Their thermal resolution is significantly better in both the 335 and 635R. Their resolution is much better. Their base magnifications in the thermals is kept low, but the increased resolution on those thermals will mean that you get a wider field of view for picking up targets. The base magnification on the IR unit is kept relatively high, so once you do pick up your thermal target and you switch to infrared mode to take that humane shot with high resolution, you'll be able to do so at quite extended ranges. So I think this is a really, really good marriage of thermal field of view and thermal resolution with infrared magnification and infrared resolution. We think these units are going to be selling hot. I've only got my hands at the moment on the demo units. We have stock on the way, but the last batch of stock sold out really quickly. We've got our hands on some this time round, and we really, really hope that people take them up. They look like fantastic units. Keep in mind, one of the other issues with these guys, because they are running a slightly different battery, is these units do not come with batteries. We will have battery packs available for purchase as well at a relatively low expense, so you can pick up a set of batteries but because these aren't running 18650 batteries, they're running slightly larger 21700s. You will need to make sure that you have batteries available and a charger, as you won't be able to grab as easy to get off-the-shelf batteries as you could with the previous units. So still flat tops, still relatively easy to get, but if you're going to grab one of these units, make sure you grab the battery pack with them. You'll see that the laser rangefinder, like the previous ones, has a little box that lets you hover the laser over the target to get you accurate range finding. And then once you have programmed in some ballistic data, you can have it move your reticle for ballistic data for ballistic drop at ranges. You can tie in a reticle into both the thermal and the infrared, and as long as you zero for both, where your thermal reticle is pointing and where your infrared reticle is pointing should match up. So if you have a target in the thermal and you switch to infrared for that much higher resolution, your reticles should stay in the same place, plus minus a little bit, of course. The thermal and the infrared are slightly offset from each other on the device, so you might have to take into account for that. Look, these units are priced very aggressively. They're very capable. The battery problem should be at least partially resolved with that much larger battery. Obviously, the battery is still just as easy to remove and replace as the older units, or the original units, the 225s. So we know that at least, even though the battery life might be a little shorter than your standalone units that don't incorporate like the multi-spectrum, battery life should be better, and at least batteries are quick and easy to swap. These units are rugged, they're small, they're lightweight, they're very capable, and we think they're going to be selling hot once we manage to get some of them. So yeah, I'll have some pictures here of the units. I don't have the demo unit with me to show you at the moment, but I will have some pictures of the demo unit and some footage from the demo unit. I haven't managed to get out to the paddock to do any thermal testing with it just yet, but I'll have some stock footage from D&T themselves running, and I've looked through them in the store, I've looked through them in my backyard. They look very, very, very capable, much like the 225R, just with a much higher thermal resolution and a fairly significantly large step up in battery size. So that should be great, great battery life. All right, and closing out this week, this week's episode is very delayed in coming out. I know we promised some giveaways for subscribers in the month of April. Obviously, it's now the 1st of May, the 2nd of May when this releases. We've just been very, very busy at the shop. This time of year is crazy for us. I will go through the subscription base and have a look and see if I can give away a winner. I'll probably announce that next week for the April giveaway. Sorry guys, we've just been sort of run up our feet. I hope to get back to regular scheduled releases on this one, but I just don't know. I did promise early on in the piece that we'd be upgrading something each week in each video. I've got myself a significantly higher resolution camera this week, so I'll be recording in 4K and downscaling to 1080p. I should look a lot clearer and a lot more defined. Other than that, hopefully I'll do a bit better with stock footage and with audio. I'd like responses. I have changed the audio setup, and I think it was better last time, but if you can just pop a comment in the doobly-doo down below. And other than that, thank you very much for another episode of Barntv. I've been your host, Dan Breeze, and shoot straight. See you next time.